Good morning, guys. Just a reminder about our progress so far then with Unit 17, because we've made quite a lot of progress now. So we've started on Learning Objective 1, and so far we've completed 4 assignments. And just a reminder that you've still got that focus, please, of trying to get those assignments up to the pass grade in the spreadsheet. If you've not done that yet, then that is a big focus over the next couple of weeks and a condition for Year 2 enrolment. It means that we're now down to Learning Objective 2, where we sort of change tack a little bit and we focus on the more creative side of this unit and actually coming up with ideas for new IoT products. Okay, so the purpose of this particular presentation then is to outline what we need to do for the next assignment, this pass-free, P3, outlining potential development projects that extend the scope of the IOE. Okay, and today's lesson is going to be focused on generating ideas that we can then develop to complete this particular section. Okay, so on the screen here you can see a list of different devices that sit in different categories that make up the Internet of Everything, and if you read some of these examples, I suspect you could probably have a good go at identifying the kind of category names in which you can create ideas for. So let's have a look at those areas. Okay, so we've got the body and health category, which I would suggest category A is matching up to. We've got the home and garden category, which I think is over here with C, so kind of products that you might find within the home or garden and IoT devices, and just giving you maybe ideas here. Here we've got ones that potentially could be used in industry, so examples there with IoT being used in industry. For D, we've got examples that you might find in the neighborhood or towns and cities. So some of these I think in previous research assignments you'll have come across, and then obviously devices that help support the environment. Okay, so the first thing to be aware of is that when you're thinking of a new IoT device, you must think about what category it sits in. Okay, and these are the categories that you can use. So you want to refer back to this presentation once on this particular slide, once you've actually generated some ideas for potential devices, and just say, well, yeah, which category does it sit in? So that shouldn't be too tricky. Okay, so the category is the first important area. Okay, so what have you actually got to do then? So you've basically got to provide a description of a brand new IoT product, an idea. Okay, so you're basically trying to come up with a new device that hasn't been seen before. Okay, 2 things to be aware of there here. The first thing is, one, it can be a completely brand new device, okay, that doesn't exist at all, and yeah, as far as you're concerned, you're the sort of creator and inventor of that product. Or it can be you looking at an existing IoT device and thinking, well, how could I actually improve that device? How could I make it better? And how could I extend its functionality? Or how could I repurpose it and use it in a different way? Okay, so either of those options are fine. So either it can be a brand new device from scratch, or it can be taking an existing device and sort of repurposing it, adding new functions, or applying that device to a new area where you think it hasn't actually been used in that situation or that context yet. Okay, so that's the key thing. What do I want you to do then? Well, today's lesson is just about generating ideas for IoE devices. Okay, when you're coming up with your ideas, I want you to try and come up with a device. Well, so each device must sit in a different category. Okay, so you need to come up with three new ideas. And those ideas must sit in a different category. Okay, so you can't have 3 ideas that are all kind of related to body and health, for example. Okay, so they must sit in 3 different categories, but I don't mind which categories. You can decide that depending on where you draw your inspiration from. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out an assignment, and the assignment looks like this. So it's a Word document, and you can see that you've got a template here, and you've got a table for idea 1, idea 2 and idea 3. So you're basically going to come up with 3 different ideas of new IoE devices, and I want you to fill in these different areas as per the table, the row heading. So just to give you an example, now I'm obviously not going to try and give anything away here, so I'm going to pick an existing IoE device like the Fitbit. So if I was to sort of turn the clock back 15 years and thinking about a new concept, then obviously Fitbit would be one that people were obviously thinking about at that time. So the name of the idea, so if you've got a good name for your device, then please do put that in and come up with it. Then you need to explain the idea. So I'm not after War and Peace here. I just want a brief description as to what the device is. Okay, so in this case we've got a smart wristband that people can wear, and it can track calories, steps, distance walked, heart rate, etc. The benefits of the device, so why would people want to buy that kind of device? Well, hopefully we want to encourage people to improve their health and have more awareness of their fitness, and try and incentivize them to become more healthy. Okay, I've also just kind of mentioned here about how it works. So actually, the tracking, the wristband will collect the data, and that could then be transmitted to a smartphone app, and then even uploaded up to a cloud platform where the information can then be analysed and accessed. Okay, so I've just provided what I think the key benefit of my product is and what it actually does. Okay, so that's what you're doing in that box there. Here, this is the key bit obviously for defining an IoT device in the first place. So what kind of sensors is it going to be require? So I've put things like accelerometers and GPS for the steps and the distance covered, heart rate sensor, touchscreen for actually being able to interact with it. So whatever you think the appropriate input devices or sensors are that are required for your particular IoT device, just make a list of them there. Okay, network technology is needed. Well, in this case, I've said that I'm going to require some Bluetooth for the actual wristband, so it can sort of beam the data that it collects to the smartphone. And then obviously on the mobile device of the user, they're going to be required to have a Wi-Fi or cellular connection so the data can be uploaded to the cloud service. Okay, the audience for this device, so if you remember I kind of mentioned about this yesterday, the audience needs to be targeted at people of your age group. Okay, in this case I'm going to say that this smart wristband, probably people from the age of 16 upwards. I'm not going to define an upper age limit, but yes, this would be a suitable product for for teenagers and people of your age to want to buy. So yeah, it's a good one to include. And then you can see down at the bottom here the category. Well, that's going back to the first slide that we started on, and it obviously sits within the body and health category. Okay, so it's that what I want you to do times 3 for 3 different categories. Okay, the big difference of course is that you cannot choose an existing device like I've done and just give me that device and tell me what it does. You've got to be creative. Okay, so and just a reminder around that creativity either needs to be a brand new device, or you taking an existing device and adding new features to it and justifying why you'd want those new features. Okay, if we think a little bit about how Fitbit has evolved over the years, from the original wristband, they've extended that by being, it now allows you to track your sleep. It allows you to track the distance that you've swam in a swimming pool. So they're the kinds of, if you want to go down the extension route, they're the kinds of things that you could sort of think about, but obviously you need to apply it to a different product, and obviously you can't use those now because Fitbit actually does include those features already. Okay, but that gives you an idea about how you might take a product and add things to it. Okay, so I hope that's fairly clear. It's a creative, section, this one, so you do need to kind of think on your feet. You might want to do some research and head right back to that table at the start here and have a look at some of these different IoT devices and have a think about different ways in which they could be used. You might even want to just have a look around your home and look at different objects in your home and think, well, how could I make that smart? What could I, what benefits would it have? And maybe choose that as an idea to develop. Okay, but this is a very kind of organic idea process, so there's no right answer. Be creative. Some of your devices might be quite wacky, they might be quite daft, but hopefully across the class we'll get a good range of ideas, and we'll maybe get 4 or 5 then that we can then begin to focus on developing together. Okay, so that's it from me really, I think, for this assignment. So 3 ideas, and can you make sure that they're uploaded please by the end of tomorrow. Okay, so Wednesday the 3rd of June. Thank you. Bye.